hey, two, hey, one, hey, two, hey, three, hey, four, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho. Everybody get up. Ho, hey, ho, hey, ho, hey, ho. Everybody get up. Everybody get up. I said, everybody get up. Everybody get up. I said, everybody get up.
How you doing, Miss Rav'n?
I am swell. How are you, Miss LaDios?
I got some of that coffee in me today. No makeup for this face. I'm going all natural.
And I'm all caffeine free. How weird.
You know. Today, this morning was a rough one. But welcome to the dark side family. Thank you for sliding in.
Yes.
So today we're going to talk about some 6 lessons that Steve Jobs can teach actors by Martin Bentsen from the Casting Network. So as we told you when we first launched our podcast, that we wanted to talk about tips and things that you can do, especially as an actor, to evolve and become a better actor and a better entertainer. So we're just going to kind of go through some things. You want to kick it off with the first one?
Sure. The first one is to think big. Steve Jobs always thought about the bigger picture. What would he leave behind after he was gone? If you change your thinking from just focusing on the next audition to what you want to create long-term, what I call an acting purpose, and we both know about that, not only will you be much more focused, but you'll also start to build a following. Your acting purpose must be something beyond yourself, a purpose that other people can get behind. How can you use your acting to help others and make your community and even the world a better place?
Nice.
Really think hard about it and come up with something that inspires you. It will be a basis for everything you do throughout the rest of your acting career.
Ooh, talk about that. Why don't you elaborate on that one?
Sure.
What are your thoughts on that? Yeah.
Well, you're actually a great mentor in that regard because you're an actor with Valor. And we've had a lot of discussions about, what does acting really mean? Is it just a job? Is it just something that you're going to get a paycheck for? Is there a passion behind your craft? Is there a reason why you're doing it?
Right.
For me, mine is to ignite passion through the arts. And I believe through that passion comes the spark of creativity. And we all have something that's beautiful to share with the world. So if you follow your heart, you'll find something that's beautiful and easily shareable. So that's my big focus.
Yeah.
That's my big focus, is to inspire. What about you?
Well, so for me, some years ago, and if you guys go to my website, Living with Valor, or valorliving.org, I had a traumatic thing that happened, and I almost lost my voice. Like my voice box was injured. And when it was blessed to be revived, I was like, I was already doing theater prior to that, but the way it was injured, they were talking about I'd never speak again. But when everything was settled and I said to myself, I was like, God, what is it that you want me here to do? And so prior in the acting room, I was like kind of chasing that dream of being a star, famous, and I was chasing the fame.
Sure.
But after that, my whole thought process was like, no, I want something bigger. Like, you let me stay here on this earth, so I want to, whatever I do as an actor, I want it to stand for something and be purposeful. And so that's how I came up with Actor with Purpose and Living with Valor. And so everything, and I'll say 90%, because there will be some times when you just kind of do some fun stuff for acting.
Sure.
It might be just it may have no relevance, but you might do it because you want to just not get into those serious roles all the time. But everything I do, for the most part, is all related to a purpose, to educate, to expound, to put us in a better light. And that's about 90% of the work I do. So I just wanted to always stand for something. But I think it's really important that when we are not waiting for the next audition. The thing about creativity that you mentioned that I thought was important is that this is creativity.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? We got to get out of that. We got to be on this TV show. We got to be on the stage. There are so many realms to the arts, and that if we don't, expound that for ourselves and plug into different things, then you're going to get, You're gonna get stuck in this box. So,
Yeah.
I think
Good
I
point.
think that was a good point that Steve Jobs made. So number 2, follow your instincts. Steve Jobs was never afraid to trust what he believed was right, even if it flew in the face of whatever everyone else said he should be doing. In fact, trusting one's instincts while still being willing to listen to others' perspective is one of the most important parts of great leadership. Don't let the industry tell you how to be or what to do. Actors who break the rules and follow their instincts, taking on a leadership role in their careers, are the ones who get and stay ahead. Ooh, how you feel about that?
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, I have much more esoteric kind of feelings in terms of instincts and following your gut. Part of when you shared this article with me, there was part of me that really loved a lot of aspects of it, but part of me that doesn't like some aspects of it, because I do feel like in America we're always so driven by capitalism and so driven by this need to get ahead and be leaders and blah blah blah. And to me, the thing that made me fall in love with acting is the fact that it's so collaborative, that it's not just me, that it's really, for me to stand out, it's when I'm being my best support.
Right.
That's when I really do the best work. So there's definitely a lot to be said in terms of following your instincts, into what roles are right for you, what theater companies to work with, those kind of things. I don't know so much if I see it as a way to stand out in terms of being an actor, because again, I view that as more of a collaborative effort, but definitely following your instincts into what feels right for you. And sometimes sometimes you even know on paper, like, that company is not going to be a good fit. Sometimes you can just see it in a description or something, like that's going to be hard, or that's going to be, just follow that, like, because sometimes it feels really good, and that's how it should feel when you're being creative,
Yeah. I like the part where it says, don't let the industry tell you how to be or what to do.
Yes.
To me, I want my own identity. I don't want anybody telling me I need to be this tiny or this big, or unless it's suitable for the role. Like, I need to be like Monster with Charlize Theron. Like, I don't want someone to say, well, you'll do better here if you do this. And I think, when we start following our own instincts, we start getting that creativity, because that small, still voice says, you know what, I think you should go left instead of right. I had been wanting to start a podcast, but I kept praying. I was like, I just don't want to be another vlogger on there talking about nonsense or nothing. I wanted something that was distinct. And so, like, when we started collaborating, I was like, this is my co-host. Like, this will be perfect. And so I don't believe in coincidence. I think everything happens. And when we take a leadership role in our careers, we just got to say, you know what? There's more than one way to get to the number 8.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I'm not trying to be a struggling actor.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if I got to take the scenic route to get to my goals, I'm going to do that. So, and that's my thing, because I've heard all these stories about, I was living out of my car. I ain't doing that. You
ain't doing the Steve Harvey thing.
Nah. Hence why I still have a 9 to 5. But you know what? It's all good, because my instinct says it's going to happen.
Yes,
so,
absolutely. So on to tip number 3.
Yes.
Adopt unconventional and impractical perspectives to problems. So what's your biggest challenge right now? What's a completely different way you can solve it that no one else is trying? For example, if you struggle with auditioning, take another audition technique class. But if everyone else is doing the same thing and they're all stuck, why should you expect a different result? What if you thought differently and tried taking a public speaking class that focused on overcoming nervousness? Or what if you tried becoming close friends with directors so you could just bypass the audition process altogether? Remember, some say that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Unconventional solutions will get you unconventional results.
Right.
Yes.
What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with that. I do think that you have to think bigger, and if something's not working and you're coming up against a wall, that you have to reevaluate and say, what am I doing wrong? What can I change? What other approach can I take?
Right.
So that unconventionality is great. great. I don't love schmoozing up to people so that they can, you can bypass the audition process. I didn't love that piece of advice. And I'm friends with a lot of directors that will still make my ass come in and throw it down an audition because it's only fair. And that's just the way that it works. So that little piece of advice, I'd kind of say, because any good director I know has never, there is pre-casting. But, most keep an open mind at least. So, yeah.
So one of the things I liked is that I know we were talking, maybe it was last year, you were saying that you were taking on a film, like because you're trying to transition into film, right? Yep. And you took a film class or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought that was good because I know, like, I remember you saying that terrifies you, like, being in front of the camera.
In front of the camera terrifies you. Yeah, it was really hard.
This is, like, really unconventional right now because now you're in front of the camera and everything. Wait till we go live, y'all. We're going to go live eventually. But one of the things I thought was unconventional, and I hate auditioning. I absolutely hate it. I've built, and it's more in this realm, but there's people that I don't even know that have, when I say stalk, it's not in a negative way. Like there's casting directors, agents, even my current agent now, we just signed, I think, last year, but she was like, I was stalking you for over a couple of years, and so, when you start to put your name out there, then you don't have to audition. Yeah. And that's a great thing.
No, it is.
That's a great thing.
Absolutely.
But unconventionally, what I have learned, and this was from my acting coach last year, is what we would call love notes. We would send out love notes to casting directors in the New Mexico area, and if you want to go to LA. And you would say, hey, you tell a little bit about yourself or, what project you're doing. And I used to feel like that was so, like, I'd be like, oh my God, why would they even read my stuff? But she made it, that's how you build those relationships. It doesn't matter if they throw it in the trash. It doesn't matter if they look at it. You just, kind of disconnect from it. But it did play some imprints on some casting directors in the New Mexico realm that have been watching me, that are on my Instagram. So, we got to try stuff differently. Comedy, I'm like terrified of comedy. You're probably good at comedy, but I've been trying to go for a little more comedic roles. So, I'm trying to do some stuff that, to approach, my acting in a different way. So those are some things, just to expound and, I don't have a problem with public speaking, so.
Did you ever have any classes in terms of public speaking?
Well, I took speech in high school, speech in college.
Yeah, so that helps.
And then I took theater, drama. I took all that stuff in high school and college. And then even I got into what do they call it? I can't think of it. I started doing
like a Toastmasters?
Yeah, Toastmasters.
Okay.
I was doing a couple of Toastmasters. And so, I go off and on throughout the year doing, you can sign up on those things, and go to different groups and stuff and do some Toastmasters or some public, just to keep abreast and get more fluid and stuff. So I don't have a problem with that, but yeah, I do that. What about you? Do you like public speaking?
I do like public speaking, but it was through probably my college speech class that I really became adept at it. I used to be the queen of fillers, and so that was something that I had to really. Again, and it's like as soon as I start thinking about it, it's right there. It's like Tourette's or something. Yeah. So you really have to slow down and think and get the words out of your mouth before, proceeding.
Yeah. I just want to get better on my storytelling. Like I got the story, but I just want to make it flow.
Yeah. But my public speaking class, it was hard. I think I could swear she was a Virgo because she reminded me so much of myself. But our homework was basically we recorded our speeches and we had to go home and watch ourselves, which was torture. And to watch yourself like up there like but it made me better over the course of 8 weeks, and I'm no longer queen of the us. So I can say things without saying.
Tip number 4: don't fear failure. Ooh.
Better
Did you
not
know that?
in this industry.
I'm trying to tell you, you better have a thick skin. Did you know that Steve Jobs was fired from Apple in the 80s? Most people would look at that as a failure, but Jobs actually used it as an opportunity to create another company called Next, which eventually saved Apple during one of the biggest crises. You should look at every failure you have as a success. Why? Because failing at something proves that you truly succeeded in stepping out of your comfort zone, and that's the biggest and most important success of all, especially in the long run. Would you rather have a short-term quick win and stay within your comfort zone, or a long-term successful career built on solid experiences, both good and bad? Failure is the best way to expand your comfort zone and gain new experiences.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
You know, in this industry, so I know you haven't watched The Oval yet, but the lady, and I don't have her name, who plays the wife of the president, she did an interview last year on Wendy Williams' show.
Okay.
And so she's in her 40s.
Sure.
So she's like, yeah, I had just passed my real estate license and I was about to quit acting. Because she had went through so many auditions and so many auditions and so many auditions, so she was like, after a while, you just start to feel like, you know, I'm being rejected because, and then, you know, Tyler Perry, hats off to you, gave her an opportunity. So this is her real first like TV role. And so if I don't get a role, I'm not saying it doesn't kind of ruffle you a little bit, but I don't ever look at it like I'm rejected. I always look like, well, it was a selection. And what I try to do is leave an imprint on that casting director, producer, director, whoever, that even though I may not get the role, there's a couple things that can happen. They can write a role in for me, or they'll be like, you'll be ready for the next role. But failure to me is, my dad always says, nothing beats a failure but a try. So as long as you're trying, you ain't failing. You know, that's how I look at it.
Sure,
you know?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah, and I mean, you just have to know that if you're going into the entertainment industry, that there is going to be some rejection. And it's not rejection on you're not good, or you're bad, or you're not talented.
Yeah.
It's just you're not right for that part.
Exactly.
And it could just be something so minute that other person brings to the table that fits that character so much better than you would have. And when you get cast in that role that fits you so well, you'll realize, wow, my director really did a good job here, because he saw the vision. You know, and that's kind of our job as actors, is to fill in where we're needed and to kind of shut ego down when it needs to be, and realize what we're there for, right? It's not for our career. Well, let me hold back. It's not just for us, but it's also for the production as a whole. If that production is successful, then I'm successful. And my name's going to be successful. I could be the best damn actor, and if my whole ensemble is flailing around and screwing everything, the show's going to be shit. So that's all that there is to it, you know, because it's a collaborative thing. So again, don't fear failure. Just look at it as a way to retune, you know, whatever you need to do, and know that something's going to fit for you when it is for you, you know?
Yeah, and I did want to add before you go into the next one is that I worked with this director on a theater, and I'm sorry I don't have his name right now, but he was so amazing. He goes, your job as an actor on stage is to make your counterpart look good.
That's right.
And so it doesn't matter. Like if they drop a line, you should cover them and make them look good. Because if you make them look good and they're doing the same thing and making you look good, they'll never see any division or tension, and the whole production looks good. So there is no failure. There's no failure. Anyway, all
right. Tip number 5. Be optimistic about the future. Pessimist and realist rarely take risk and are often the first to quit because they don't think they'll succeed. 10 years from now, you could have an entirely different life and be performing in amazing projects, or you could be in exactly the same place as you are now. The difference is in whether you're optimistic enough to put forth the effort. So yeah.
Whoa, talk about that.
Absolutely. So you have to be a glasses half full kind of person. I think, especially if you're an entertainer. Eyes are on you, scrutiny's on you, judgment's on you. So you have to know the universe is on my side. People are on my side. I'm doing what's right for my life. I can see the joy and the silver lining in everything. So you just kind of, and not that you have to, I'm sure there's some actors that are downtrodden and gloomy, but I find that it helps me get through and helps me with that quote unquote rejection or failure. If I don't get that next role, I'm still optimistic about my next opportunity. And sometimes I actually view those times when I'm like so gung-ho and like, ooh, I put all my audition into it, don't get it, and then the next thing that I get is 20 times better and, you know, everything else. So it's like sometimes I'm like, oh, well, they probably saved me for my next new opportunity. And that's a good mindset to have, right? Like they're not rejecting me from something that, you know, it's something I wasn't built for or made for, and what is coming down the pike is made for me and is going to be fantastic. So I think that mindset helps. What about you? How do you keep your optimism?
For me, I just stay busy. I keep myself engaged in something. One of my first acting coaches in the early 90s, when I was like in my early 20s, when I didn't know nothing, you know, I saw breast milk on my mouth. But she said, one thing as an actor you need to do is remain busy and constantly developing yourself. She said, because as an actor, if you are not like, and that's when they talk about that quick fame kind of thing. If you do a TV show or something and you get caught up in that and then you have a dry spell, which actors have dry spells, she said you can get depressed and negative, and then, you know, you can fall into this bad vicious cycle. So I always remain optimistic. I will be honest, there's times when I get frustrated and I'm like, when is it gonna happen,
girl?
You know, but my
COVID.
Yes, COVID. And if you think even with COVID, let me tell you something. Somebody said that I thought was amazing. They were like, one thing about COVID is all the people that were casted for projects that are happening, you know, supposed to be happening now, they had to recast because now those people had other projects that were going down the line for this year, and so that may be an open opportunity for you. Not to say that you want. You know, there is no mistake. The universe is wise and loving. You can't think that, oh, this happened to me, so I can't do this project. Maybe you weren't supposed to be there. Maybe he directs you to something else. Perfect prime example. I was working at one job for this university, and it was cool, but I didn't like it because I didn't have the flexibility. Anyway, my supervisor basically was trying to get me fired. Ooh. And I ended up quitting. And I had no job. But I went to Mr. King and I was like, I hate my job. He was like, quit. You have the whole summer to figure out what you want to do. Quit. He was like, we can move to LA, we can move to Atlanta, you could pursue your acting career, blah, blah, blah. I mean, most support. I was like, I quit. And I found the job I have now. This is 3 years later. But the beautiful thing about that is the most flexible freaking job that it works around my acting.
That's beautiful.
That's so beautiful. I can still pay my bills because I told you I ain't trying to be no starving artist like that. But my thing is, I was so depressed because I was like, and I had 2 offers the same day. I had 2 offers. And he said, well, if you take that offer, you're going to be in the same predicament you are with this university. He said, but if you take that one, and I know nothing about that one, he's like, it might be better for you. But it worked out perfect. So you have to be optimistic that even though something, like you didn't get a role, you didn't get something, or it's not a rejection, it was a selection. And you got to look at that. What's for you is for you. What's for me is for me. So,
before we go on, I'd like to add one point to that too. You know, I'd say add flexibility to that too, because there's so many different things that you can do in the industry in supportive roles. Like you might be a good set designer, you might be able to help stage manage, you might, you know, I mean, there are so many other things that you can do within the entertainment industry and you know, theater productions, film productions. You always need extra hands and extra eyes and all of that. So if you love it, stay in it and stay flexible, because you never know where your strengths could be lent in another avenue that might not be in front of the camera or in front of the audience. So, you know, there's a lot of behind the scenes work that can be done too, and keeps you in the game. You know? So,
I was a costume designer on one film project. I loved it.
Oh my God, that was fun.
Oh my God, putting together the costumes, going shopping for the costumes, getting the makeup artists, and then designing that character to look at, I mean, the director was like, LaDios, you made this character exactly what I wanted. So I like being as much behind the camera, probably a little bit more than I do in front of the camera. So that was a good point. So remain optimistic. Yes, you're awesome. So Number 6.
Yes.
Is this mine?
Yes, our last tip.
Okay, keep it personal. Okay, Mr. Jobs. Okay, Jobs was passionate about his work because he kept it personal. He felt personally responsible for his success and took responsibility when things went his way and when they didn't. You must be passionate about what you do and take personal responsibility for where your career goes. You must love your work, not just the acting in general, but also the specific characters you play. Some actors find this hard because the industry boxes them into characters they don't like. But when you find a brand you're proud of, one that resonates with your deepest and best personality traits, everything changes. You'll start You'll start booking bigger roles than You'll start booking bigger roles than you ever thought possible, and they'll be roles you love. That's why I encourage every actor to find their 3 pride words, 3 simple words that resonate with you and make you feel proud. Being clear on your pride words can help you audition better, capture better headshots, and generally feel much more passionate about your work no matter what the character you're playing, which will make a huge difference in the long run. So take some time right now to think about who you are. What are you most proud of about yourself? I promise that if you come up with these 3 solid words you love and you keep them at the forefront of your mind, you'll feel much more grounded and confident in every aspect of your career. And that's what true success is built on. Bam.
Bam.
Bam, bam.
Bam.
Yeah. I don't have my pride words yet. Mine, one of them is purpose.
Yes,
one
purpose.
Of them is
I'd say mine right now, and this is just very much off the top of my head, but I like them. Passion, love, creativity. Those are some things that I definitely stand for. I love that last tip.
Okay,
Just be passionate and make it personal. You know, like that your acting should represent you.
Yeah, I like the fact that he says you need to be responsible when things go your way and when they don't. Like you take responsibility for your own successes. Yes. And me, I'm like, I guess I'm a workaholic. I'm a perfectionist. Maybe not so much a perfectionist, but I take real integrity and ethics when it comes to any project that I do. Like I go above and beyond in my presentation. I want it to be good. So yeah, like I said, I don't have the 3 pride words, but I know mine will always be purposeful, and I'll be always committed to the project or the character. As far as like the industry, like I'm not in a box as of yet, maybe, but whatever character, I'm going to bring it to life and I'm going to affect people.
I wanted to talk about that, being in love with the characters that you play. There is a tip and a trick to doing that, and I find that's in creating your backstory.
Yes.
We only get to see, whatever little scene is going on in this person's life, but you get to develop a whole backstory from birth on, and whatever you put in there you can resonate with, and that can make you fall in love with your character no matter how icky or whatever it is that you're having to deal with or bring out of that character. So that's just something that I'd like to add on.
And there might be characters you don't want to play. There might be. I mean,
absolutely.
There's a few that I don't want to play, but as I'm starting to get more into the industry more, I'm like, what can I do to make this character just stand out?
Sometimes I think that's a challenge.
Yeah,
I wouldn't want to play that, but I might just because it would push me. I think Keira Knightley played a trans woman in this movie called It's Hot Out There in Cracktown. Yeah. Such a good movie.
Right.
But I was like, wow, what an interesting choice. And it always, and this was before I was even acting, and I was just in awe, like, wow, what would make her do that? Would I do that? Would I go and play a trans man? Like, would I be able to stretch myself? So, again, I view it as a challenge, and I got little goosebumps thinking about it. And, so those kind of things excite me. But, the whole field excites me.
Yeah. So these are our 6 tips.
Yes.
We definitely want
Thank you, Martin Bentsen.
Yes, Martin Bentsen. Yeah, we definitely want to give him credit. This was on Casting Network, so you can sign up on their newsletter. They put out really good tips and things that are up and coming in the industry and what's going on with COVID and new movies in theaters. So it's from the Casting Network's newsletter.
Great
And
resource.
I thought this was a really good thing that we should cover. As we said, we're going to bring in a whole plethora of things as an actor, but it will be revolved around the entertainment business.
Yes.
And it will encourage you to be a better actor, entertainer, or whatever your field may be in your personal life. In the meantime, you got any last minute words, my friend?
Just please subscribe, comment, follow us. Yes.
And give me a thumbs up. Give us a
Yeah,
thumbs up.
yeah,
thumbs
like
up, thumbs
likes,
up, thumbs
like
up.
likes.
Yes, and thank you guys so much for sliding through. Remember, you don't have to be asleep to dream, so get up and get out and do something for yourself. I'm LaDios Muhammad, an actor with purpose.
I'm Rav'n, an actor with passion.
And we are actors
from the dark side.